Hello everybody, on plant review today. First or second or third day of spring. As you can see, tulips, hyacinths and crocuses are almost at the end of the bloom, but most daffodils instead are in full bloom. Some of them are already faded and some of them are still to bloom. However, we have a nice variety of daffodils today, so I will just do a quick video about a few varieties that are in bloom today, and I will get back about the daffodils in one of my next videos. So I would start from one of the smallest daffodils. Very nice. I think daffodils are extremely nice in a pot if you plant the same lots of bulbs of the same varieties, but obviously they look stunning in the garden anyway. However, I think in the garden it's better to plant quite tall varieties, because usually, as much as you can try to avoid weeds, still there's quite often a few, so taller daffodils are always more showier in the garden. So I will start so today this video on daffodils about these small narcissus. The height is about I would say about 10-15 centimeters, and the flowers are tiny but very bright. This is Narcissus Tete, so a very nice narcissus if you like to have a nice display in a pot. And as you can see, it's just a little bit taller than no, actually it's about the same height of my hand, so I would say about my full open hand, so about 15 centimeters. It's not very fragrant, unfortunately, but if you like a nice pot for a couple of weeks, definitely this is a nice daffodil for you. And here we have one of my favorite, the Jetfire. The Jetfire is a very typical, it's a cyclaminius daffodil. Very typical because the flowers are strongly bent, and I'm not too sure if you can see. Yes, you can see it better here. You can actually see the petals of bright yellow and the trumpet of a very beautiful orange. Is definitely the combination of yellow and orange is one of my favorites in a daffodil, so I just love this variety. Unfortunately, this variety is not fragrant either, but however, I still smell it, because sometimes some individual plants might have a tiny fragrance, even if most individuals are not fragrant, but not this one. We're here, it just starts to bloom a daffodil that is the, let's see, the Minnow. Okay, the Minnow is supposed to be fragrant. Flowers are very tiny, very small. Again, it has pretty small plants, about 10-15 centimeters tall. At the moment it's very slightly fragrant. However, the flowers, as you can see, have probably just opened. The most of the bulbs are still not in full bloom yet, as you can see, so I will definitely come around in the next few days to give you a feedback on how is the fragrance situation of this daffodil. And here we have one that is supposed to be one of the biggest daffodils that you can have. It's called the Dinnerplate. Yes, it is quite big. I was expecting a much bigger flower. It's just it's just about probably half the size of my hand. It's definitely a beautiful flower, bright yellow trumpet, as you can see, on cream petals. The The trumpet is quite flat, very open. It's not fragrant either, but I bought it mainly for the size, so I'm a bit disappointed about the size, even if I would say that as a flower is yeah, quite different from those of the daffodils because of the very open trumpet, and I like the color very much indeed. Going through here, we have 3 varieties, kind of similar. These are slightly different in size. We have here, they are all with yellow petals and yellow trumpet. Here is a quite small flower. This is the Narcissus February Gold. I mean, now it's late March. However, I bought these bulbs when they were on at the end of the season, like a 50% discount. So obviously I planted them late, and that's the reason, because they bloom late. It is a pretty nice daffodils. However, I don't find it particularly special in any case. The only special thing about this daffodil is really the quite early flowering, but to do that obviously you need to plant the bulbs in, I would say, August, September, and definitely not in December, January, as I did, in order to get the early flowering for which this variety is known. Here we have definitely, yeah, you can see the difference in size. Sorry for the wind. Yeah, you can see the different size between the February Gold on the right and this one. This is the Narcissus January. Well, again, I planted very late this Narcissus in the pots. Is well, even if it's flowers, it's supposed to flower earlier than the February Gold, is actually a much bigger flower, so I would say that I prefer it rather than the February Gold. Unfortunately, neither of these varieties is fragrant. The biggest yellow trumpet daffodils I have here in bloom today is this one. Again, beautiful big yellow trumpet and slightly lighter yellow petals, still a very nice combination. And I will check immediately the okay, yeah, this is the Narcissus Dutch Master. It's actually very famous to be also one of the biggest flowered Narcissus. If you want a bright yellow Narcissus for the start of the spring, I would definitely suggest this variety if you like quite big flowers and yellow in colors. Here we have some small flowering varieties, but these ones are peculiar because are mostly fragrant. This is the Narcissus Sweetness. The blooms are again quite bent, pretty small, just like probably half of my finger. 1 second to check. Yeah, that's a much better definition. Here is another flower, actually in much better shape. The shape is very nice. The fragrance, I would say, is a medium fragrance, kind of fresh. Is what I would define really a flower fragrance. Yeah, is a very medium. It's not particularly intense. However, considering the bright coloration of this daffodil, if you like yellow daffodils and you also want to enjoy a fragrance, the sweetness is probably one of the best you can have. Here we have a narcissus whose flowers are really smaller. It's called Tiny Bubbles. It's almost at the end of the season. Here there is a bloom still, yes, still almost intact. Here, yeah. This is lightly fragrant. I wouldn't really suggest this species if you like if you like fragrance, a fragrant daffodil, because the fragrance is very light. Here I have another pot of Narcissus Sweetness. Again, this is much more fragrant than the tiny bubbles, and as you can see, it's a much bigger flower as well. Progressing through here, this is another kind of Cyclaminus. This is the Rapture. These, as you can see, this is again a yellow flowering narcissus, but still with a quite small flower, and unfortunately not fragrant at all. However, here I have a few more daffodils, quite big flowering varieties. We have here the Binkie. Again, the Binkie is a medium sized flower, again not fragrant, a bright yellow, but as many yellow varieties of daffodils. Again, if you like a bright yellow daffodils, probably I would say the Dutch Master is the best you can plant in the garden for the size and for the color. If you like white flowers instead, I would definitely recommend this one, the Narcissus Tibet. As you can see, almost pure white petals with a yellow, well, creamy yellow trumpet. And this one again, this one is very slightly fragrant. However, I would rather recommend it just if you like quite big flowers of white and a creamy color. Definitely not for the fragrance. What I definitely would recommend you for the fragrance instead is the Paperwhite. I've read mostly that the Paperwhite is a narcissus that can't be grown outside. However, I planted them in about it was about November, early December, and they are blooming incredibly. They overwintered perfectly. We didn't have any snow this year in Kent. However, we had quite a few cold days, and this narcissus was perfectly fine, and the fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. It's a kind of sweet fragrance, almost vanilla-like, very sweet. It's quite intense, and that's definitely what I would suggest if you like fragrance in a daffodil. Definitely the Paperwhite is one of the best. At the moment, this is the best fragrant daffodil I have in the garden. So yeah, if I would need to choose for a fragrance between sweetness and Paperwhite, I will definitely go for the Paperwhite. It's absolutely the fragrance is very intense and very sweet. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a presentation of a few flowers, of a few daffodils I have in the garden today. I hope in a few days to make another videos much better and better quality, and also with a much better introduction about daffodils and other species of the genus Narcissus, that basically, yes, are the same. They all belong to the genus Narcissus. And well, I hope you enjoyed this. It was just quick presentation of my daffodils in blooming, nothing special, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Have a good day.